so much to think about on this day, so
On
much
this
happening
day.
in history, so much happening just yesterday, and now the
Yeah.
perfect person to talk with. And on a serious note, Matthew, I know we do engage in a lot of fun conversation. Today is just one of those days where we have to really sit back and think, what are we called to do now as followers of Christ, as members of the church, to bring about healing, to bring about peace, and to show love for those who seem to be on the opposite side of us.
Well, it's funny. I think you nailed it. It's, what are we supposed to do? But before we answer that, I think looking as to why we are here right now is important. I can tell you, my son called me yesterday, and this really shook him.
Yeah.
Like truly. He called to tell me, Dad, don't look at the video.
Yeah. Right.
Like, he tried to warn me, and I still haven't seen that. My son told me it's a horrible video. And I think this is going to impact young people in maybe a similar way like 9/11 did. They're going to remember it. But how did we get here to a country where what we saw on that train in Charlotte, North Carolina happened? How did we get to the place where a Catholic church filled with school children is a shooting gallery? And how did we get where a man comes onto a college campus to celebrate free speech is gunned down? And it's because we've abandoned God in this country. And that's what's happened. Everything. Once you get rid of God, politics essentially becomes the God.
Right.
Because that's that space. It's gonna take whatever you can fill it with. And right now we have our academics, our media, many of our politicians. They mock truth, and we're mocked for believing in truth. And the first consequence of that is a profound, deep uncertainty that we're left to our own to invent our own morality, come up with our own truths. And we've seen already where that leads us.
Yeah.
We can't agree on what a human being is. We can't agree on what a man or a woman is or who deserves to live. There's no good. There's no evil. So who decides what's right? Is it the loudest voice? The one willing to do violence? The one who controls the algorithm? Without a moral law, there is only power. It's just a Darwinian struggle for power. And that's why we are desperate for God in this moment. And the thing is, we can't get caught up in that power struggle. We can't just push back and say, you come after me, I come after you. That this is, as hard as it is, this is a moment for evangelization to tell people about Christ and fill their lives with Christ. That's the only thing that can save us. Otherwise, we're just going to be wrapping ourselves in darkness like a blanket.
Yeah, and I think, I was looking at some of your stories on the Creative Minority Report, and, there's such a tie in all of them. I mean, you can see that is the thread. The thread is there is no objective moral law or lawgiver anymore. And so the idea, all the way from, Senator Kane saying rights don't come from God. What are we talking about? Then who do they come from?
Right.
Well, they come from government, right? And then just, when we think we're helping somebody by letting them out of jail 14 times and then they kill a young woman, there is a misguided sense of mercy and compassion. And it's not, I mean, there's so many things that we don't understand that are all linked to what God tells us. And we're so confused in our society when he's not there.
That's exactly right. And, and the thing is, it's not mercy to do that, to leave those people out on the street. It's not mercy.
No.
It's playing God. It's saying that there's some kind of injustice in the world, so we have to do further injustice to make this right somehow with some equation. But I remember talking a year or maybe two ago with you guys, and there was a poll out. We talked about it, and I remember even at the time being lighthearted about it, that there was a shocking number of people who said, that political violence was sometimes the answer.
Yeah.
And it was something like 38% of respondents said it's somewhat justified to murder President Trump.
Yeah.
And then others. Now, did we think that would have no consequences? The fact that so many people now believe that violence, sometimes is the answer. Of course it has consequences.
Yeah.
And the only thing that could save us now is a return to truth. And say what you want about Charlie Kirk. He was a committed Christian. He believed in Christ. He believed in free speech. It seemed like a wonderful husband, father. This was a man going on college campuses to talk about Christ, to talk about freedom, and he was gunned down. Don't double down on violence and crazy. Keep preaching the truth and the light, and that's what we're called to do.
We've been talking about the idea that we are in a post-Christian society here in the United States. We say it. I don't know that we've really believed it. I think maybe now we believe it, but we have to say in 2,000 years of Christian history, we have learned how to conduct ourselves in a non-Christian society. And so what do we learn? What lessons do we learn from our brothers and sisters in history who lived in times where it wasn't a Christian society?
That's right.
Yeah.
Matthew, it's great to catch up with you, and I encourage people to go to creativeminority.com and read up. And thanks for joining us today.
Take
Thanks,
care,
guys.
Matthew.
God bless.